This one.
How are you today, man?
I'm very good, mate. I just been chilling, really, just playing a bit of bass, you know. Usual.
Which leads us to the conversation. So let me kind of introduce you to the audience, and we'll get rolling. I got several questions for you, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on today, Johnny. It looks like you're busy, man. I got plugged into your social media over the last, I don't know, probably 6 months or so. It's been several months. I've been following you. Your, kind of stage name, performance name, Dr. Funk.
Yeah, but
dude, you get down. I play more guitar, but bass was my first instrument when I was a teenager. And man, you have a real definitive thing going on. I wanted to see if you would just come on and chat about it for a while.
yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks very much, man. I don't mind.
Yeah. So hey, how did you first get interested in music? Was bass your first instrument?
To be honest, it's a bit of a funny story, right? So I was about 12 years old, right? And my cousin got a drum kit for Christmas, electric drum kit. And I was like, Mum, please get us a drum kit, you know? That's all I want to do. All I want to do is just play drums. And then we're on the internet, my mum's like, oh, how about you try the bass? Because it's like 30 quid cheaper for the bass starter pack. I said, all right, go on then. I'll try that out. And that's how I started the bass, mate, because it was cheaper.
Right on. Yeah. That's, ironically, I hear that story. I own a martial arts academy here in the Southern United States. But I hear that story a lot. Like people come and they'll start training martial arts as an adult when they're not broke. They're like, yeah, I wanted to do this when I was a kid, but it was way too expensive. So that is interesting too, because man, I don't know what I do. I'll ask you later about like what kind of gear you run, but equipment is expensive. That was always like the barrier when I was a teenager.
Yeah, with the bass starter kit, like it's like 100 quid, you get the amp and the bass, So it's pretty cheap for the bass, isn't it? Because no one wants to play it, that's why.
Yeah, bass has always been appealing and interesting to me. When you first started playing, who were some of your influences? Like what got you, ascending towards the level you're at now?
So I used to love Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like they were like the favorite, you know what I mean? Like Flea was just he was the king. And I was like, right, I need to learn to slap the bass like him. So I pretty much learned his style. I learned the same like slapping technique that he does. But I was into classic rock as well. Like before the Chili Peppers, I was like more blues and stuff. Like I love me blues, me old school blues and that. And Led Zeppelin was like my favorite band when I was younger. Deep Purple and that, Thin Lizzy. Mm-hmm. But then as I got to about 16, 17, I heard Marcus Miller. I heard the song Run for Cover. And it was just blew my mind. And like, he's like got all the 80s clothes on and he's just slapping a bit. Like I was just like, oh, he's the best. And I've literally it's all I listen to. Because it's, like Victor Wooten's like really skillful and technically amazing. Marcus Miller's got this like, he uses melodies more. So he sings with the bass basically. Mm. And that's what I try to do myself on the bass.
Yeah. So just kind of like, doing some base level research on you, figuring out your names, which you have your name written on your case you perform on. So I was like, okay, I bet his name's Johnny. But you actually, man, you play with a band. I was listening and watching some videos of you perform with your band. What can you tell us about that?
So like those people in the band, the Big Sets were called, named after the Waves, Big Sets, We actually friends from school. So we grew up together and we used to just jam. We used to sit in my garage and just chill in the garage, just drink beers, smoke weed and that, just chill out like and jam every day. And then we all moved down to Cornwall around the same time, and yeah, just started this band together, and it's just the most fun you can ever have because it's all your mates on stage, you know. We've got 2 guitarists, 2 lead singers. Well, the guitarist is the lead singer, and the harmonica player sings as well. And it's just like 4 best mates, and we just go to different festivals, party our heads off, play some music, you know.
Yeah.
Love it, like.
Right on, man. Yeah. Yeah, I watched this, like, I mean, you guys have several videos out there, so I was checking it out. Just like I said, just kind of like following your social media trail. But you know, like, so there's this one particular video. I guess you're playing an original song, and it was the first video I saw, and I teach at a college here nearby, and I was showing it to my students, and that their minds were blown. I showed it to my yoga. I shared it on social media. Man, you got like this particular video had like 500,000 shares on it on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And my yoga instructor, like, she messaged me about it and was like, "Hey, I was thinking about this video the next day about this kind of, man, kind of your presence of how you're performing and stuff." But then, man, if you go to your social, you got a bunch of videos like that. Like, when did you first start doing like your solo performance, like putting content out there? And when did it first start getting?
So yeah, so like it was like last year really when I really like started to work on my social media presence, because I never had a smartphone till about 3 years ago, and like I just wasn't into the whole Facebook, the Instagram stuff, you know. And then I got one video that went viral, and I just thought, well, actually, how about I just work on it, work on my Facebook and that, and I just literally try and post a video every day, even if it's like old video, but like making new videos and just posting them, and then people follow you, you know, and it's like, it's really good to just have a big fan base from all over the world, really, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that because I mean, I'm contacting you from Arkansas, right? Like, Southern United States, like we're you know, kind of an obscure place to be. I feel like hitting you up over in the UK, but I mean, that's got to be. Are you experiencing this kind of thing often right now? People hitting you up for interviews and whatnot?
Yeah, I've done a few now, like actually from the States. It seems like my fan base is mainly the States. Well, not mainly, but like mostly, you know. It's weird to hear the accent difference, you know, because you're probably like with me, like, oh, what's he saying like that, you know?
Man, you know, I would say you're probably. I've had a couple of Brazilian guys on here that did jiu-jitsu, but they lived in the U.S. and have lived in the U.S. But you're probably my first international guest. I'll say that. So.
All right. Well, it's a nice one, mate. Cheers.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. You know, that is a good approach. You know, I went to school with this girl who became this famous blogger, and she basically just posts once a day, no matter what, and is remarkable. She has like, I think, 800,000 Instagram followers or something like that.
Yeah, it just gets the traction going. Like, I don't do my Instagram as much. Just like I'm out living, you know what I mean? So I just do one post on Facebook every day. I'm gonna try and get everything done though, you know, like the whole TikTok. I haven't got it yet, but I'm trying to earn money on that. And Instagram and Twitter. I don't have Twitter yet, but it all helps, in it. Gets the traction going.
Yeah. So, man, I see you. You know, like you play like through the loop pedal and stuff. But I've seen you play keys a little bit. Or do you play other instruments other than bass and keys and stuff?
I wouldn't say I play the instruments, but I can play them, if you know what I mean. So I'm playing drums, but I don't, like, you know what I mean? I don't like do fills and that. I can play them and give you a beat if you'd say play a beat. I play a little bit of ukulele, a bit of harmonica, and a bit of saxophone. Just little bits here and there, you know.
Nice. Were you in band or anything coming up? Were you classically trained to read music and stuff like that?
I don't read music, but I'm trying to learn how to read music with a piano, so like doing the both hands and that. But I went through college. So I went to school, I did my GCSEs music, I pretty much failed them. I'm just not good at the music theory. I can't get my head around it, you know. But like, I think someone once said was like, you don't actually need the theory to produce what you're feeling, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
so I don't have
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's interesting. You know, I never took. I jammed with friends and stuff when I was coming up, and but I never took lessons until recently. You know, I just recently started taking lessons after playing for almost 20 years. And man, the theory is, I'll connect a dot every now and then with my teacher, and I'm like, oh man, but it's rough, and like I'm so far away from being able to read music. It's kind of
Yeah.
frustrating, but you know, I'm just staying after it. I mean, I'm 33. I approach it differently now than I feel like I ever have in my life. So it's been real beneficial. I've been having a good time with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one to crack, like, but I think through the years, I think I will crack it, like, you know. I studied it in college for 3 years, and
Wow.
I just couldn't, you know what I mean? I couldn't put the pieces together, but I still know a bit. I know like time signatures and like how to sort of read on the scale, on the, what do you call it, the stave.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not that good at it, really.
So how old are you, Johnny?
28.
28. All right, man. Yeah. Yeah, right on. So, how long until you kind of started, had you been playing when you started developing kind of the style that I'm seeing right now? Like, I mean, this last year's
Um,
what you've been putting out.
so I've been playing in a band, and you know, like, you get taught as a bass player to like less is more, like to really hold back, and to say a good bass player is when you don't notice them, and so I do that in the band, and I sort of try to be the best bass player I can by not standing out, if you know what I mean, being like the background man. But when I play my solo stuff, I'm obviously just going wild on the stuff, you know, just slapping the bass. And I think just practicing on that busking all the time has made us like, I don't know, I get my own kind of style, because I've took like Blee's style, but then I've took it like mixed it with a bit of like Marcus Millen, or like a bit of a jazz kind of feel. So I think that's where my style comes from, really, just practicing every day on the street.
You think is your music anywhere else other than social? Like, are you on Spotify or anything like that, or SoundCloud?
I am on iTunes and Spotify and YouTube Music, but I think they're going to be taken down very soon, because I'm busy recording a new album in the studio.
Oh, nice.
So I'm working on this goal of getting signed, really. Like, I want to do real jazz songs like my idol Marcus Miller, you know, like make the singing the bass line, pretty much. That's a dream.
Yeah, nice. Well, man, like I would say you got a lot of momentum behind you right now. That's exciting to hear about, for sure.
Yeah, it is good.
So, you know, one thing I'm always impressed by, like I got a friend that like there's no question I can ask him. And like we've been playing a similar amount of time. Like, you know, we both play guitar, and we both have a pretty impressive collection of gear. But man, every pedal I ever ask him about, or any piece of gear, he's got an opinion. He's like, bro, let me tell you all about this. I'm always impressed by like hearing about people's gear, you know, like, but more importantly, like how you piece together your sound. Like I was listening to Tom Morello talk about how he like presets his stuff. He plays 2 delay pedals because he doesn't want to ever switch them, you know, like. But what can you tell us? Can you tell us some about your gear? Like how are you making this sound happen in your solo performance?
So, like on the street, I've just got an RC3 loop pedal and my little busking amp. I wonder if you can turn this round here. Where we go? Oh, didn't turn. 2 minutes. So, where's the camera? Yeah, so that's my little busking amp here. There's some presets here, so maybe if I turn it on. So, yeah. So this is my setup really. Can you see that? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Have you seen one of these amps before? There's tiny little things, but it's got the 4 speakers. Really nice, like. I'll turn it on. I'll just stick to session because it's got the most like crispest. Session's good for the street because it's so trebly, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've got that same loop pedal sitting right here next to me. Oh, hey, Johnny, I think you're muted.
Oh, it's in it.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I didn't hear you the last couple of seconds if you said anything. I saw your presets in your pedal though. I got that same.
Yeah. Well, also it must have muted it when I turned it around. Yeah, I wasn't really saying much anyways.
All right, good. Yeah, nice. I haven't seen those like well, you're calling it a buster amp. That makes sense.
Yeah, it runs off batteries, like 6 AA batteries.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's great, like.
Yeah, interesting.
And then I got my Cassidy guitar. So I'm sponsored by Cassidy Guitars.
Okay.
And they made us this nice custom bass here, like absolutely lovely, maple neck.
Beautiful.
And then let's go Dr. Funk. It's got my name on the back. I tried to put the camera down while I'm holding the bass in my hand.
When did you pick up your first sponsorship?
So that was last year. So I had a video go viral when I was busking in Barcelona. I wasn't going to go busking that day. I remember it well because I was so hungover, you know, just partying in Barcelona. And I was like, oh no, I'm not busking today. And I was like, well, I've got to do it because I've got to pay for the hostel anyway, you know. So went busking and my mate filmed us, you know. I did the song Feel It Still by Portugal the Man, but I do it like really fast slap bass version. So that went viral there. I can't remember where I'm going with this.
Yeah. What we were talking about sponsorships when you got your first sponsorship. Yeah.
So it went viral and I got 7 million views in Barcelona. And some guy from Darlington, it's actually close to where I'm from, messages saying, oh, do you want to be sponsored by Cassidy Guitars? And I was over the moon, you know. I've just been busking for years and years, and I've never heard anything like that before. So, yeah, I got that sponsorship, and then I got a string sponsorship, MJC Ironworks strings. Yeah, sponsored by them for a few months now as well. Like, don't complain, eh?
Nice. How long is so you say you've been busking for a long time? Like, when did you first start doing that? When did you first start playing like that?
So I actually started busking like when I was like 15, but I used to play on the train stations up from where I'm from. I'm from Sunderland, northeast England. And I didn't have one of these amps. I used to have one of those, you know, those little 1-watt Marshall amps.
Yeah.
Tiny ones that stick on your belt. I just used to have one of them, and all I used to do was just slap the bass just like crazy, just like blah, 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 blah. No songs or anything, just slap the bass. So yeah, must have been about 14 years ago.
Wow. Stayed after it.
Yeah, crazy like.
Yeah, I mean, so like, if you don't mind me asking, like, I mean, obviously, all these years of busking have paid off. You got sponsorships, you've got this huge social media presence, but like before all that, did you do pretty good just busking on the street? Did you make pretty good
Well,
income?
I made enough to get by. You know, that's all I've done pretty much for a very long time. You know, I did have a job when I first moved to Cornwall, and then I thought, why am I washing dishes in a club? You know what I mean? When I could just be playing my bass for the same money for 1 hour. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
It's a good job. I don't complain.
Oh man, you know, like I tell people all the time. Now, like I'm a college professor, and I have one of the bigger martial arts gyms in our whole state. Um, but man, I was poor for a super long time. I mean, super like poor
Yeah.
in college, being a student for 7, 8 years, building my business up. But man, it's awesome when it finally all pays off. And
Oh yeah, nice mate. So you're doing good for yourself now.
yeah, you know, I'm just like you, man. I'm just doing things like this podcast. It makes me happy. I would rather sit here and record this video and talk to you than and talk about history before this. And then I'll
Yeah.
teach martial arts after this. So it's just the same. It's the same as playing your bass.
Yeah, man. Just loving what you do. It's great, man.
Yeah. But let me go put. It was even cool when I was poor. You know what I'm saying? It's just really awesome that the investment paid off. You know that you work hard for a long time and you know you make it or whatever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like with busking, it's sometimes like in England as well. You can't even go busking because it rains. You know, like for a week at a time, and that's when you're really screwed. Then, like, you know, but you go off the money that you had the week before. You know, you still got your 20p's, your 10p's, and you just put them all together. So it's a bit of a struggle sometimes, obviously, but life is, isn't it?
It is, man. It is. So like, what are some, you know, I know you've mentioned a few times that you have like a slap technique you use, but man, I'm always real impressed by how active I see like your string hand just doing different stuff. And then you're playing chords and stuff on the bass. Sometimes you're doing different parts and looping different parts. Like, what are some other sort of like signature moves you have in your arsenal?
So there's a style called like left hand slapping, which I took from, I think it was Mark King, you know, from Level 42. And yeah, so I kind of use it. I can show you if you want. Like it's hard to explain. I'll just try and get this set up nicely. All right. So can you see that? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So the left hand slapping is using this hand here. You use these 3 fingers to slap. So it's kind of like, but then I made it into like a triplet. All right.
Nice. Awesome,
So
man.
hand slap, and then I've just started doing the double thumb technique, which is what like Marcus Millen, Victor Uten do, but I'm not that good at it yet. But like, so you hit the string down and then back up with the thumb, and then the pop. So it's like, and once you get faster and faster, it just sounds better and better, like, you know.
Yeah, man. How often do you have to, or do you practice? Like, I mean, what's your daily practice? You have a routine?
So mainly I practice when I busk. So that's what I'm always trying different new scales and different ways of playing the scales when I'm busking. Because, you know, like, I'm doing it for myself, really, you know. But when I'm in the house, I just have it. I don't have it plugged in or anything. I just pick it up when I walk past it, and I just, you know, I just go through the major scale or the minor scale, and just mess about, you know, so get the fingers going faster and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, so I got one more question for you, Johnny. So, you know, like I just moved into a newer studio here. This it's like a part of my main gym with my own entrance and exit. But part of my goal on the podcast was to have artists on. Like this past Friday, I had a guy come and perform in the studio. He's just a solo artist, but he was on American Idol, and he came and played 2 songs. We podcasted, but one thing is like some social media outlets, I know YouTube is too, are coming down hard on artists that are like doing cover songs, or like Facebook has this weird thing about musical experiences, which seem to have some people kind of uncertain about like uploading content and live streaming music in the future. Do you know anything about that? Is it going to impact you?
I've heard that they're going to cut down on doing that sort of thing, but it's mainly for like DJs and stuff. Like I'm sure like DJs can't really do it anymore because they need licensing or something. But with me, it's just like slap bass, really, innit? So like the one time I got called out for it was when I was playing Get Lucky, because it's my version sounds pretty similar to their version, and I'm doing the same melody. Yeah, so I've been called out on that, and they stopped my video before. But other than that, it's all good for me, I think. Like, hopefully, I stay with the live videos, because I pretty much make most of my money on live videos now. As I, I'll get paid off busking like about 50 quid in 2 hours, but mainly if I've just got this new phone, and it's got a good microphone. I got $110 on my last live stream. So I need to do live streams, really, to keep this.
Yeah.
Going, you know?
That's what I saw you posting about getting monetized. And I'm trying to get monetized too for the podcast, for my gym. I put out like, jiu-jitsu techniques and kickboxing, MMA. Like we put videos out. That's actually a more popular channel. I've been building it longer than the podcast. But man, it's always interesting how they change the guidelines.
So is that on YouTube? The monetize the page, or is it on Facebook?
Yeah, I think I saw you post that on Facebook, that you were either trying to get monetized or you just got monetized. So
yeah, so on Facebook you need 10,000 followers.
Yeah.
And then you start getting monetized.
Yeah.
And then once you hit 60,000 or 80,000 or something, you start getting stars for live performances, like tips. People can tip you.
Okay.
But on YouTube, the money's a lot better. Like, so I've got like 40,000 subscribers on YouTube now, and they paid so much better than Facebook. I'd say I did 500,000 views on Facebook, I'd get about $100, $90 to $100.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube, it's like 10 times that for the same amount of views.
Yeah, wow.
It's crazy, like, it's really good.
That's amazing, though, man. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, still haven't been paid yet, but hopefully soon, innit?
Yeah. Right on, man. Well, hey, so tell us, Johnny, where all, like, I know you've mentioned your social earlier, but like name-wise, like my audience listening, where all can we find you on social media? Where can we listen to your music? How can we support?
Right, so you can find me on Facebook as Dr. Funk, YouTube Dr. Funk, as in DR, not DOCT, like DR Funk, and Instagram it's DR__funk_. It's a bit of a difficult one, I know, but it's been like that from the start, and it's on my case too, so I can't change it. Yeah. And yeah, so you can support me by buying my album, which is on my website, johnnyrubin.com.
Okay.
JONNYRUBIN.com. Or you can get lessons from me on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Dr. Funk.
Okay, dude, I'm gonna hit you up on some bass lessons. I actually saw that you offer bass lessons, and I'm like,
Yeah.
how is this real? So yeah,
Yeah.
my very first bass guitar is right over there. I don't know if you can see it. It's right
Was it a
below that
Fender?
chair. What's that?
Is it a Fender?
No, it's like a super cheap Ernie ball, like an OLP. It's like the sort of the generic version of Flea's bass. It's
Okay.
yeah, an OLP. It's basically like the Squire of the Music Man. It's that Stingray style, but yeah, man, I love the Chili Peppers too. They were always a huge influence on me when I was playing coming up. So
and I love them too, like.
Yeah. Well, man, Johnny, what I'll do when I share this, I will send it over your way if you want to share it, and I will put all your social media in the description. And man, hopefully, you know, people continue to support you, and I'll hit you up on some bass lessons on down the road.
Man, I totally appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Do you want us to play some?
Thank you, dude.
Do you want us to play some music?
Oh, hey, please, by all means, that'd be great.
Got it all set up, mate. If you want, like, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right, mate. 2 seconds. Sound okay?
Sounds good.
So this is a new song I've got. It's called Big Fat D. And it's another one in drop D. It's pretty good, I think.
Oh man, that is amazing, dude. Holy shit.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, man.
How do you, man, like I would say, like the same thing comes to my head every time I watch you play. How does he do it? Lots of hard work. We did an interview about it, but man, that is
Appreciate it, mate.
It evokes a certain type of feeling, man. It really does. It's special.
Yeah, appreciate it, dude. Like it's what I love to do, you know, and I hope that I can make a lot of people happy with it.
Hey man, well it's brought some joy to my life, Johnny. So
Awesome.
many thanks again for coming on, dude. Awesome.
Loving us, mate. Nice to meet you too, man.
I'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you.
Cheers, pal. See you in a bit, mate.
See ya.
Ta-ra.